Welcome back to Renew with Elle. And today we're going to talk about why self-care is selfish. I know you all are like, this lady is nuts. Keep living. But let's talk about what is self-care. Well, self-care is probably one of the most self-explanatory words that exists. It's literally how we take care of ourselves. But there are different aspects to ourselves or different parts of ourselves. We always talk about holistic movement, about the total person, but our total person is divided into parts. So we have a physical self, a spiritual self, an emotional self, a psychological self. And then we have different versions of ourselves. So we have a public self, a private self, and a secret self, right? So we'll get into that in the future, but it's really how we take care of ourselves. But I want the takeaway to be that we have to look at the different parts of ourselves, and we're just not one big thing, but several little parts that we have to take care of. Why is self-care important? We wouldn't be here if self-care wasn't important. We are here because we are struggling with self-care. We don't know what to do with our self-care. We have a regimen that we don't even do consistently, or self-care is at the bottom of our list of priorities. So self-care is important because we are suffering due to a lack of it. Pain is the greatest motivator of things. So we are in a place currently where we are not feeling good about how we are taking care of ourselves. So what are the effects of poor self-care? Some of the things that happen when we don't take care of ourselves are we might have medical issues, we may have hypertension, we may gain weight, we may lose weight, our mental health may suffer, we may have depression, we may have anxiety, we may have both, we may experience self-esteem issues. Spiritually, we may suffer, we may feel disconnected from our higher power, whoever we call our higher power. There are a list of things that go on and on. We may not feel fulfilled in our relationships, our romantic relationships, or our friendships, or even our relationships with ourselves, or our relationships with our children. We may have poor outcomes at work. We might have absenteeism at work. We may have a poor review at work. We may be overworked. So our poor self-care has a very huge impact on our lives. So we have to connect with what is our pain? What is our motivation? So just take a moment and think about personally, what are the negative effects of poor self-care on your life? Self-care is important because it's literally a matter of life and death. So who am I talking to? I'm talking to professional women who feel a lack of balance in their lives. And what is a professional woman? A woman, because a professional woman is a woman that works. And whatever space we in, we are going to work. It's going to be you're in the office, or you're at home, whether you're at home working from home, or whether you're at home taking care of the house, or whether you're at home taking care of kids. Whatever space we find ourselves in, we are going to work. So I'm talking to you, I'm talking to me, I'm talking to women out here who struggle with self-care. So why would I say that self-care is? So what is selfishness? Selfishness is when you're thinking about yourself and nobody else. You're not thinking about the effect that you have on other people or the benefit that you have to other people, and you are only thinking about yourself. So what is the opposite of selfishness? The opposite of selfishness is selflessness. And that means that we think about other people and we don't think about ourselves. So society has this negative connotation or view of being selfish, especially women, right? We're not going to get into all of that. But society has a negative view of people being selfish. But selflessness is not something that has such a negative view, where we do things and we are benefiting other people and we are not thinking of ourselves, and we're just these people who are committed to others. And just like selfishness as a lifestyle is not healthy, neither is selflessness. So back to, why do I say that self-care is selfish? Well, good self-care is, because we all need moments where we take care of ourselves and we don't think about anything or anybody else. Not to say that our whole lives need to be about that. Our whole lives need to be a balance of selfishness and selflessness. But let's revisit this. How is good self-care selfish? Have you ever had a bunch of screaming kids, or one screaming kid, or one screaming spouse, or somebody that's getting on your nerves, right? And you just want a moment where you sit in the bubble bath and they out there screaming. They might even be banging on the door. And you just in your moment, you in your zen, you got your nice little candles lit, and you are enjoying this bubble bath, and you are enjoying that moment. And everything else in that moment does not exist. That is self-care. That is selfish. And that is a good thing. It's a wonderful thing to reconnect with ourselves. We need to reconnect with ourselves, because we can't pour from an empty glass. When we become ill or when we become incapacitated and you're not able to do what you're able to do about a house, and that household just goes straight down the drain, you have to take care of yourself. We have to take care of ourselves so we can do the other things that we need to do. I'm going to give you another example of selfishness in self-care that is good. It is good. So we have to feed these little kids. When I tell you kids will eat you out of house and home in COVID, I was about to say, little girl, you go to school and you don't even eat all of that. And then you just think you got a short order cook breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, water, like, girl. But anyway, I'm going to get back to the point. So you're always feeding your kids. You're always feeding somebody else. We're always thinking about, what are we going to eat? But what is everybody else in our life going to eat? So say you have a moment where you don't have the children. You have a moment to yourself. And you get to go to McDonald's by yourself. You don't have to buy any Happy Meals. You don't have to get all of these McFrappes and extra pies and all of this other stuff these kids want. Then you drive up and your total is $50. You're able to go and get one meal, and you're able to do it in total silence. And you go and you pull into the alley. Well, I don't think you should pull into any alleys, but you might pull in your driveway, or you might pull in the parking lot, because you don't want anybody to see you. And you're able to enjoy that meal by yourself. You're able to enjoy it in a moment of just thinking about yourself. That is selfish self-care, and that is healthy. We cannot let society tell us that taking care of ourselves is selfless. Taking care of ourselves is selfish, and that is okay. Good self-care is selfish. I'm going to tell you my favorite quote. If your compassion does not include yourself, it is incomplete. So we all have to take moments where we take care of ourselves. And so good self-care is selfish. Let everybody else say, self-care is not selfish. Let them say that. That's going to be our little secret. Real self-care, good self-care is very selfish. So what are you going to do that is selfish? What are you going to do as part of your self-care regimen that is selfish? Where you say, I'm going to take a moment for me. I am going to take a moment just to dedicate being by myself and to myself. What are you going to do that is selfish? That is for you. I want you to think about something that is selfish for you. I also want you to think about, what is your wake-up call going to be? We don't want to have to hit rock bottom. We don't want to have to be in the hospital. We don't want to have a mental break. We don't want to have to start having panic attacks, or we don't want to have all of these negative outcomes. And that's not to say if you are there, it can't be revamped. But we don't have to sink deeper into a hole in order to climb out of it. So think about, why is this self-care thing important? Like I said, it's the difference between life and death. So let's go on this journey together. Let us share. So I want you to drop in the comments what you're going to do this week that is selfish to take care of you. And then let's talk about what are some of the negative outcomes, if you're comfortable sharing, as a result of poor self-care. And what other outcome do you want? What do you want? What did you want it to be like on the other side? We all want to feel balanced. Do you want to be able to spend more time with your kids? Do you want to be able to go on vacation? Do you want to feel more connected with your spouse? Do you want to feel more connected with yourself? So let's figure out on this journey together. But this is our little secret, that self-care is very selfish, and it's a wonderful thing. So comment, subscribe. Let's continue this journey together on Self-Care Reloaded. Thank you for tuning in to Renew with Elle. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.